What's up, fam? And welcome back again to Recap Kickback. It's me, your host, Chappelle, back again to talk to you about another episode of movies. We're going to be reviewing two movies, War of the Worlds, which 2025 version, which everyone has been talking about, and The Pickup, which, from what I can tell, is the number one movie on Amazon Prime. And with me to talk about both of those things, the person who suggested this, Mari Forth.
Yeah.
Mari.
Yes, I'm glad we're back. We're doing a double feature. We
Double
love a good
feature.
double feature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, two movies that were funny in two totally different ways. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we can bring our reviews to the people.
I was traveling last week, and so I hadn't been tapped in on what was going on. Obviously, if you caught our
Right.
last episode of Recap Kickback, you know we talked about War of the Worlds and that it was getting some interesting reviews, and we were going to check it out. But when I came back to the surface, I got this message from Mari that said, "Oh, you're talking about War of the Worlds and The Pickup," and I said, "Bet." And I was like, "Well, Mari, what is The Pickup?" And so, after being alerted to that movie, I did check it out as well, and we are going to talk about them both. But first, we have to thank you all for listening here to our Recap Kickback content every week, youtube.com/@recapkickback. If you skipped last week's episode, we went through some trailers. We talked about the Washington Black series. We got a few comments. Mari, some of the comments were saying like, "Oh, we totally agree with you, Mari. Like it was really tough to get into." But we also got comments saying like, "Look, we too had an issue with maybe like the white savior complex, thing that the show
Right.
kind of addressed, but the show does address it as well. They say in future
Okay.
episodes they do address that too in a way that does make
Good.
the show a little bit better than we might have suspected. And so thank you all for commenting. Of course, I'll give
Yes.
a
Thank you.
quick, yeah, because we love to get y'all's feedback, and of course it helps us decide if we're going to continue to watch something, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so we had Mr. Coldburr saying they just watched How High last night, which thank you. We do love that movie here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Choose the Sun at Choose the Sun was the person who said that the white savior issues do get addressed, and that although they didn't get into the first episode, it gets better after watching the whole season. And she thinks it was
Mm.
beautifully written. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, so we might have to check it out. And then of course, there are a couple other people at V Shorty and of course at Timmy who said that they watched it as well. And so make sure if you have any strong feelings about Washington Black, let us know in the comment section on our YouTube page, youtube.com/@recapkickback, or just send us a nice email to our email address recapkickback@gmail.com to get that over to us. Mari, before we get into our movie reviews, what's new with you? What you been up to?
Nothing much. Just gearing up for a new job. I'm not gonna be talking
Hey,
about on here. Yes, thank you.
hey.
But the end of the summer, kids are going back to school. It's a headache.
Mhm.
How was your vacation?
It was a good vacation. I needed it. I was able to relax. I got to vibe a little bit, got to spend some time with family. It was very, very fun. And yeah, like it felt like a good little reset so that I could come back a little bit more refreshed to bring more recap kickback content to our amazing listeners. So very
Mm-hmm.
happy with that. Yeah, it was nice. It was much needed. And like you said, school's about to start, and thank God y'all can all have y'all kids back because having them out in the wild, making the gym
Yeah.
crowded, like it's like hey, get y'all kids in school. Good luck to y'all. And also welcome back to school to all the teachers and educators out there. Shout out to you
Mhm.
all
Shout out.
for making the sacrifices that I refuse to make anymore. Uh, that said, Mari, I did check out War of the Worlds and The Pickup because I was like, okay, what are we gonna what to expect here? And I really didn't know. I knew people didn't love War of the Worlds, and we kind of talked through
Yeah.
the trailer. But The
Yeah.
Pickup was a complete blind spot to me. So I'm willing to talk about both of
Yeah.
them, but I definitely want to know, like, where do you want to start with this?
Um, as in which movie or just overall
Overall
thought?
thoughts. The overall
Okay.
thoughts.
Overall thoughts, like normally, like in a weekend when we're just chilling at home, me, the husband, the two kids, we're like, yeah, we're gonna throw a movie on or something, you know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, I fall asleep like 10 minutes into a movie. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? We never finish stuff. Something happens, we gotta stop, blah, 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 blah. But I actually was able to watch both of these movies literally back to back in one night on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It was just I was riveted, again, for totally different reasons for both of them. And they're both, like, really like, they're really easy to watch. They're I think they both topped out at about, like, 100 well, 100 an hour and 30 some minutes, I believe. I know
Mm-hmm.
the Pickup did. I'm not sure about War of the Worlds. But it was such a fun little, cute little, um, like, movie evening. I didn't feel, like, bad with my kids, like, running around. Most of the time, the reason why I fall asleep is because if we wanna watch anything good, we gotta wait till the kids are asleep, and it's
Mm-hmm.
already late at night anyways, but because, nothing was crazy going on in these, we started them, like, in the early afternoon. So it was good. It was a fun little double header, like, just something to take your mind off of, you know?
Yeah. I was looking at some of the reviews, Mari. The Pickup, which I had not heard about, was
Mhm.
receiving some about middling reviews, I would say. One of these reviews says Ocean Zero, neither fast nor curious. A textbook example of wasted potential, 4.5 out of 10.
Hmm.
We also see the Amazon placement in the Pickup, which did not go unnoticed by the Prime viewers, and a couple people saying that it's entertaining but forgettable content. Whereas War of the Worlds gets a whopping 2.7 stars on Wikipedia. I'm sorry, on IMDb. People calling
Mhm.
it irritating and saying that you could just watch Howard the Duck instead. Okay, now come on. I do like Howard the Duck. But yeah, big names on this project, but not the best reviews. I too enjoyed my viewing experience. Just kind of like it was easy. It wasn't, it wasn't
Yeah.
like I will never. I repeat, I will never watch these movies again. But
No.
I don't hate myself for watching them. I just kind of
Exactly.
like it's a thing that happened. It happened in the background while I was doing other things, and it was fine. So I don't feel very strongly about it, but I will say this: I liked one more than the other, and I
Mhm.
don't think it's
Sure.
hard to know which one I liked more than the other. War of the
But
Worlds just did nothing for me on a like
not a
movie
thing.
level. Nothing gave me zero.
But also, it was a Eva Longoria doubleheader too.
Did you notice? I was like, Mari, one of your
I
housewives
was like,
showed up.
"She's working."
I have not seen Eva Longoria in a project in at least 5 years. And I'm probably being generous. And for some reason today, I was able to watch two Eva Longoria movies on Amazon. Did she
Back to
have
back.
something on them? Is she like in like a
You have to
contract?
have, like, a contract, yeah, like a
Yeah. Yeah. Desperate
but she
Housewives
was
is coming to Prime or something. I don't know.
but she was some of the best parts in both of the movies, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. The
It was
standout
great.
in both films, I will say.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was so funny. I was like, "What are you doing here?" But also, good for you.
good for
Like
you. Good for you, Eva Longoria. Now, I don't know. I like that she has a job. Comma,
Mhm.
but are all jobs good jobs? Like these are definitively bad movies based on all the reviews we've seen, or at least middle of the road at best. Do you think this harms her legacy at all? Like, is Eva
No,
Longoria in like a, you know?
no. She's a legend to me, she's a legendary TV actress,
Mhm.
so bad movies doesn't really harm that, like, legacy. And I
Yeah.
don't know why it's like some people might be like, "Oh, that's shade." No. To be
No.
a legendary TV actor is not something to poo-poo.
No.
It's 2 different mediums, TV and movies, and you can be legendary at one of them, and just because you're not legendary at the other one doesn't make it less, like, bad, like, your career less bad. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
No.
I love Eva Longoria.
I was happy to see her in both these films, but let's jump right in and talk about let's start with the War of the Worlds because
Yeah.
like you said, Mari, funny for a number of reasons. This is the 2025 adaptation of the H.G. Wells novel from 1898. And so we
Ooh.
have modernized this story, massively. I mean, to the nth power. I don't think it could get more modern. If H.G. Wells even heard about this version of the story, he might have killed himself.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
like, he doesn't want to live in a world where this is fathomable. And honestly, this didn't seem extremely far fetched just based on what they were doing.
Mhm.
Like, I could see this in like 100 years, you know. So you know, I think we've come a long way. But this story, which is a tale as old as time, which has been remade multiple times, has now made it to Ice Cube land. And Ice Cube is an actor. And I've never quite figured out how I feel about Ice Cube the actor. Because in his early films, I thought Ice Cube was just acting like Ice Cube. You know, like Ice
Yeah.
in the Players Club is actual Ice Cube, except a little less rapey. You know, like he's less rapey in real life probably than he was in Players Club. Like he sucked in Players Club. Um, Ice Cube in Barbershop to me gives Ice Cube the barber. You know, like it doesn't feel like a big departure. It could have been the same guy from Players Club if he went to like community college and got like a little barber certificate or something like that, turned his life around. You know, I could see it. So this was like Ice Cube, the dad, and not in the same way as the Are We There Yet?
Are we
Are
there yet?
We Yet series. This was Ice Cube, but honestly, kind of in the same way as that as well. Like I feel like Ice Cube ain't really acted to me. This felt like Ice Cube if you gave him national security clearance.
So, would you change your mind if you knew the fun fact that originally the director was going to have Ice Cube's character be a paraplegic who was like watching all of the NASA stuff? But because of Ice Cube's ability to flip his chair back in anger, the director slash writer decided
He said,
to
"Oh yeah,
change the character.
I Maury, that kind of sounded like the director slash writer was like, all right, we need to give him something because he's not giving us a lot. You know, to be able to like we've seen people work as paraplegics who or like from like the confines of a bed. I'm thinking like Bone Collector or something
Denzel.
like that.
Mhm.
Exactly. You see where I'm going.
Mhm.
This man
Yep.
is not Denzel Washington, and I don't expect
Nope.
him to be. I'm not looking for him to be. So I too am thinking you gotta let this man walk around. He needs to give us a little bit more physical comedy because I'm not gonna get all I need just from these very disturbed reaction videos that we're getting throughout. Like it's a lot of type, face, type. Like he stands up at one point. It's like he's watching
Yep.
a football game throughout the entire movie.
And that's the funny thing. It was probably like they were probably like had to keep reminding him like Ice Cube, you cannot, you can't move.
Sit down. So, Mr. Cube, you don't have your legs don't work. He's like, oh shoot, my bad. He was getting excited. Mari, you and I are both Ravens fans. You know how much football can get the energy going. There was points where he's like talking to his daughter, trying to help her navigate, and he's just like, "What?" And I'm like, "You can't even see him. Like, this is such a bad angle." It's like I think it's realistic for who Ice Cube and who a lot of very emotive Black people are. But for a movie that is shot through a screen that this the size about the one that we are looking at right
That we
now,
are literally on. Yep.
him
Mhm.
standing up and like pacing and stuff like that wasn't doing
Yep.
any favors for me at all. Um, this was a journey, Mari.
It was just so unintentionally funny. Like again, him standing up, throwing his chair back, like, no. The 2 seconds that he tried to like run out of the building for
And he
like
got locked in.
and then he's like, well, I gotta go sit back at my desk. Another like fun fact is that this was shot during COVID. So that's why it was
Oh, okay. Well, now,
yeah,
okay. They should have led with that. These
yeah.
COVID movies, Mario, are still trickling in. How many more of these are we gonna do? Because there's a lot of them, I guess, that got like kind of stashed away once people could leave their houses, and they just sprinkle them into random different
Streaming
streaming
services.
services.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They're like, ooh, PU. Let's save this until it's better.
Oh my god. Yeah, like had this dropped during COVID, would we be more sympathetic to it, knowing that these none of these actors could actually be within 5 feet of each other?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was a different time.
Possibly. Yeah, we accepted a lot of stuff. I remember when Grey's Anatomy addressed COVID, and You
I skipped
know,
that whole season.
as you should have.
A whole season and a half. I skipped
As
it.
you should have, as you should have, and
Mhm.
I'm a person who's seen every episode of Grey's, and that is on the list. Those are one of the like the first things I tell people is once you get to the COVID season, you can just kind of yada yada. And we've seen that with a lot of different shows.
Yeah, the COVID season of RuPaul's Drag Race is probably like my least favorite modern season.
Oh yeah, shout out to Jasmine Masters? Question mark?
No.
Is that
Oh, no,
season?
no. No, no, no.
Simone.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, haha.
Hey.
Trying to keep up with the black people. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But yeah, shout out to Simone.
Yeah.
But also
Love
like
her. Yeah.
right, but the season. Come on, what we doing? So the plot here. Um, our guy Ice Cube plays a character named Will Radford who works for the Department of Homeland Security, and he takes his job so seriously that he actually takes his makes it his entire life. Right, like he has access to all of these drones and camera and surveillance and stuff like that,
Right.
and he uses it as an overprotective father to hack and spy on the lives of his entire family so much to where he doesn't even know what's going on with them. Somehow he spies on them so much that he actually doesn't know much about them in their real life and finds out a lot of it in this film, including that his daughter is having a baby shower and that his son is a government hacker.
My husband works for DHS. There is
Oh.
no way. There is no way you can log onto your laptop and do as much stuff that this man did. Like, you cannot use a government, like, mainframe to track your daughter as she buys her morning coffee and tell her not to drink 2% milk. It makes no sense. Like, the government, I would hope, would revoke your access immediately. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot commandeer satellites
He
to
did.
see what the sun is doing. Like, that is ridiculous.
For this man to have so much access to these people's lives, he somehow missed that his son had been hacking into government websites, and he also
Yes.
missed that his daughter was having a baby shower basically behind his back.
Yeah, and his son is supposed to be the equivalent of, like, anonymous, like, he's
Mm-hmm.
hacking into the government and trying to expose the my god, this even more super secret surveillance network, like, it's such a super secret surveillance network that his father, who works, with the most surveillance job ever, doesn't know about this super secret surveillance, but he does.
Yeah.
And it and Chappelle, did that did that graphic of the anonymous character look familiar to you?
The hacker.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. I was
that's
like, this
the BB-20 hacker.
this is the same hacker. Yeah, there was a lot of you could tell. Now that you mentioned that this is COVID, you could definitely tell. There were definitely scenes where Ice Cube's reaction was used 3 times. I saw a clip on Twitter where they showed the same clip basically showed from different angles of him like kind of like gasping, and it's like the same exact video each time.
Well, even worse, we saw online before it started, which I really wish I didn't know. If you look into his glasses, for most of the movies, you can see the green screen that he's looking at. Like the
you know, I just I don't know, man. Like this is a COVID movie, y'all. I'm gonna extend some grace because this is a COVID movie. They made this. It probably cost them $25 and a few Quiznos subs for these people's day and a half that it took to film it. So I will ignore some of those things, but even though I will now go back, I lie. I might go back and watch it so I can laugh at that again. So the thing is, he works for this company. He works for obviously DHS, and he is a part of this national security, homeland security, and what he's trying to navigate spying on his family, making sure his daughter doesn't eat bran muffins and make her future baby sick, but also doing his job and being in connection with his homegirl at NASA, aka Eva Longoria. And so while
Mhm.
he's doing all of those things, we start to see that the NASA intel is correct and that there's some weird weather going on. And by weather, I mean meteors are crashing to Earth during all of this surveillance talk. So while they're trying to deal with the disruptor, this hacker, they
Mhm.
also have people running for their lives because these meteors are crashing down and destroying all of these, like basically everything. They're destroying cameras. They're landing in the middle of the building. We see people reporting from remote locations and saying like, "Hey, you can't believe it. There's meteors falling," and then the meteor just like crashes and hits the person, which you would
Yeah.
think people would take cover from. But whatever. We got crack journalism here, um, and due to all of that, we finally get some navigating before we find out that these are not meteors. These are alien robot hybrids. So they're like robots with pulses.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
that is akin to the War of the Worlds remake with Tom Cruise.
Mm,
It was like, yeah, it was like electric, something like that.
mm-hmm,
These aliens were kind of weird because it was like they were after our data, and I was just like again, I feel like if I was a computer science person,
mm-hmm,
I feel like I would be sitting there like, "Oh my god, this is annoying." You know what I'm saying? It's
mm-hmm,
I got I was like, "This nomenclature doesn't feel right to me." You
mm-hmm,
know? It's like me as a medical person watching a show and they are saying the most stupidest nonsense, doesn't make any sense medically, clinically, and I'm just sitting here like, "Oh, brother." Like, it felt like that, but I don't have the knowledge to know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to make 2 plus 2 equal 4, but I'm like, this don't sound right to me, but hey, I don't know machines like that. So if anybody wants to again put it like and leave it in the comments, tell us. But they're like, they're after our data. But then we gotta knock out the power. But then we gotta upload a so and so virus. And I was just like,
mm-hmm.
I think I think it was just water that killed them the last time,
It
the
was.
last two
It was.
times.
It really was. Yeah. Um, this is tough because yeah, the aliens first it starts off as meteors, then they transform into aliens, and we think the aliens are attacking, but in reality, the aliens are not attacking. What they're doing is using their alien tentacles
Oh
to burst
yes,
through the buildings to let
yes,
little alien bugs,
bugs,
like literal bugs, not like
yeah, like
like
little
like
spider
virus
looking
bugs,
things.
but literal
Mhm.
like little bugs to go into the data to get it and feed on it because the aliens have found out that the government is using this Goliath program to get all this secret information on everybody. And one of the secrets they have is about the aliens and all the information that they crave. And so the aliens are basically lured here by this government program, Goliath, that simultaneously Ice Cube's son is trying to take down. Did I get that right?
Yes, but it still don't make no sense. It still don't make no sense.
No,
I Yeah. It was
no.
like the Goliath thing was made up by the director who hired Ice Cube, but it's still again super secret. But they didn't really explain why they needed it.
Well, they want to spy on
Did he?
people. I think
But he was already spying.
we were given the idea that like there's spying that the government does. Then there's an extra layer of spying that's above the government that the government is still doing, but it's like secret, super secret type secret or whatever spying that's like deeper, right? So we got like the spying that we know about and the spying we don't know about. And the only person who knows about is the disruptor and his crew, and they're trying to out this. And luckily they are because this that level of data that they've been collecting is what have brought the aliens here. So all of this is some weird, I guess, commentary on, you know, what type of data we allow the government to have on us, this new age kind of like tracking that we get, where wherever we click on something, all that stuff is being loaded and
Yeah.
saved and about us or whatever. But this is all coming as like this. huge commercial for Amazon
Oh
because
my god.
of all the people who should be complaining about people misusing data, Amazon cannot talk. Amazon, if I click on the link right now, I will get an Amazon ad for it in about an hour, and I'd be like, "How did you know I was looking at this?" You know,
Amazon Web Service. Literally everything that we use, we search, we browse goes through Amazon Web Services.
mhm. And one of the main characters, Mark, who is Ice Cube's future son-in-law, or at least the baby daddy to his grandchild that is not his unborn grandchild. This guy, he's wearing an Amazon shirt the entire time,
The
and
entire time.
he uses an Amazon drone to save the
Yeah.
day. So Ice Cube has to
Because
go
he's an
in,
Amazon driver. Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So Ice Cube has to go in and purchase the drone, which I was very confused about. He selected, or maybe I don't know why he had to go in and actually
He
buy
had
it.
he had to purchase the USB. Remember?
Yes,
He had to
he had,
purchase the
but why do you have to buy it?
USB for them to put the virus on.
But why he had to buy it? Like if his son is the delivery person and has the USB, why did he have to purchase it before he could get it? That's really my biggest question. Well, maybe they explained it like, oh yeah,
Mm.
you gotta purchase it, or we can't
To,
unlock the
to show
security
you how
code.
fast the drone can get to you once you purchase.
Okay, Mario, are these Amazon drones a real thing? Is that really happening? Because this is filmed in 2022, and I have yet to have something
So
delivered to my house by drone.
exactly, but you know what I think it is? I think it's like because you know how like in LA they have those like DoorDash has delivery robots. It
Uh
could be
huh.
something like that. Like at the bigger metropolitan cities have access to this.
Mario, you in DC? You ain't never heard
Uh
of nobody having no drone?
DC has restricted airspace. So
Ooh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. The
mhm.
home of Homeland Security. um,
So wait a
I don't.
minute, this took place in DC.
Wait. Okay.
That drone
Okay.
was all over the nation's capital.
All over. I mean, there was. I think by that time, though, Mari, everything had gone to shit. You know, the meteors had
Good.
already hit all
All
the
these different
cameras.
places. Mhm.
Everybody was losing power. Facebook
Mhm.
lost all its data, but somehow his son is still able to access these government servers from his homeboy's house. Everybody's losing data, but his son from a friend's house is still able to access all this disrupted information. And I'm not quite sure how come everybody else stuff went down except for this boy.
And what like he's like, here are my group of hacker
Other
friends and
hackers.
other hackers. And then they were like, all of a sudden they're like, oh no, they've tracked us. The aliens tracked
Yeah.
them and then blew them up for their data.
The aliens track their IP addresses, and you would
Yes,
think that as hackers, that would not be so easy. Um, and even
exactly.
then, as aliens who are tracking data, shouldn't it be a lot easier for them to find Dave? Like his simple solution was, yeah, I bounced my IP off of somebody else's house. You mean to tell me the rest of these hackers didn't do that?
Exactly. And then and Ice Cube was like, well, but wait, did they just blow up our, our house? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
What?
fine. Yeah,
You could have bounced that to Hong Kong or something? And
right.
the fact that he turned around and took his green screen down was kind of funny, but I was like, this is dumb.
Yes.
I
Um,
was like, this is dumb.
it was I mean, look, if you're waiting on us to explain the entire plot of the show and how it happened and how it ended, that's it. That was the movie. The daughter does get injured at one point, and her
Oh
being a
my god. Can we
scientist,
talk about her stupid
I know. Let me beat you to it. This lady is a scientist. She works with science. She gets stabbed in the leg, and she is determined to pull that item out of her leg. With me and all of my infinite wisdom about Grey's Anatomy could tell you, if you don't remove that, you won't bleed out as fast. And yet this lady goes above and beyond, despite her dad and everybody else saying, don't do that, to pull this out of her leg just to give us a little bit more suspense. These are scientists.
I was like, "Girl, if you don't first her not running fast enough, like, from the alien, he's like, "Get away," and then, like, a helicopter started to fall. I'm like, "Girl, zigzag."
Right. Go bob and weave.
She's, like, 8 months pregnant, so sh when she falls, she lands on, like, a little rhubarb. It's always, like, a rhubarb that goes through your leg, and she's
Mhm.
like you said, she says she's bleeding out. He tells her to get into a Tesla, and he's, like, driving the
He can hack
Tesla.
it. It's
And but where did
Amazon.
he even drive her to? I was like, "What is happening?" It was
He
like,
he sent the Tesla. First of all, that was the other thing that was bothering me. While this man is doing all of this from the confines of his desk, he also has tech support at the ready too, and like other
when
people
does
giving him
tech support
clearance.
when does tech support get back to you that quickly? When does tech support get back to you that quickly?
Especially during a crisis, you have to imagine that they weren't the only ones getting their lines blown up at the time. And he's just like, "Hey, I need to hack a Tesla right now." And they're like, "All right, bet." Like, okay, here's your code. What? Okay. So he hacks the Tesla. He has a Tesla drive her to the nearest trauma center because apparently at the hospital someone will be there to help. But all the data and stuff is down. The people at the hospital are not just sitting there waiting on some incoming person from a self-driving
But
Tesla.
was she even at a hospital? It looked like she was at, like, an office or some shit.
I don't know where she ended up, honestly. I don't
I
know.
don't
Is
know where
that
she
once
ended up
she
because
pulled
he
that
did
thing on
have
her,
a
yeah, the mark had to get to her. Maybe the Tesla didn't make it all the way.
I yeah, I think he took his eyes off of her for 2 seconds, and next thing he saw, the Tesla door was open, and there was, like, a blood trail, and he was trying to figure
Hmm.
out where she was, and by the time
Yeah,
he found her again, she took the thing out of her leg, like I was like, "What is this nonsense that I'm watching?" It was again so unintentionally funny. I was just like, "What are we doing here?"
yeah. They end up saving the day because the daughter has worked out a cannibal program or something like that for science, and so it undoes all of this. Like they don't really explain what it does. We just get like an
There's like
article that shows that it
yeah,
exists.
and then the USB gets flown to him by
Hmm.
the Amazon drone.
Yeah, and they insert the cannibal thing with the USB, and the day is saved. And then they go back to living life as normal, but he now has a more appreciation for his family. He's probably less. I mean, he's less likely to be working for the government anymore, doing that kind of stuff. We do get a tweet from Joe Rogan, hyping him up as a truth teller, and I was like, oh, it was 2020.
Oh, right, yeah, because he blew the whistle on the
Hmm.
Goliath. He turned into the
The disruptor.
yeah,
Um,
but and then his boss got arrested.
Yeah,
It
his
was
boss gets arrested. I guess they just like rebuilt the city at this point, or the world. You know, this is the war of the world. So like, I mean, they very cavalierly just like gloss over the fact that the world was just at war with aliens due to the government's actions, and everybody I guess goes back to normal. Like, I just don't really know. Like, okay, this Goliath thing is probably it's a U.S. program, or at least the agent that we saw who was at the head of
yeah,
this was a U.S. Agent.
because it was in a basement or something?
Uh-huh, or something, and or in the basement of the DHS, I wanna say.
Yeah, where he was
Um,
at.
yeah, but so my issue is that, like, the rest of the world just gonna let us get away with this as Americans, like, this was our fault, and everybody knows it, and we just gonna go back to what we're doing. Like, at the end, the president is like, "I want you to work for me," and I was like, "I don't think anybody needs to work for anybody. Like, we need a complete overhaul of the entire system
Shut
over
it
here.
down.
Shut it down. Shut it down. I'm moving to China." Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, Mari, that's War of the Worlds. It's not a lot to talk about. I really, it's a lot of explosions. Uh, I guess there's comedy. There, you get a little bit from Mark.
Oh,
It's very yes.
Eva Longoria, she was in LA and she was like you said, she was a NASA scientist. So her parts
Hmm.
were really she was very informative. She thought she was Al Roker. She was like, I'm gonna go look. Like
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna touch the thing. So I mean, she was good. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, 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 no. She did good. And then I think the other person that I wanted to highlight was Iman Benson from the movie Uncle Buck, but also from Black AF. which is one of my favorite Kenya Barris's thing that he's ever done because he had a very funny family in there. She was the daughter Faith, the one who pulls out
Yeah.
the thing from her leg. I was happy to see her in this because I remember her on Black AF and
Mhm.
I really enjoyed her. I don't really know much about Henry Hunter Hall, who plays his son, um, but that's
No.
it. Those are the ones that I think stood out to me. It was fine. It was decent. It wasn't decent. It was fine. It existed, and I
Right.
had a good laugh.
Exactly. It's just one of those bad movies that if you know go in knowing it's bad, then you just laugh at it. Like you're not
We
mad or anything.
we really grew up in a time where bad movies were just around, and I think they are too, but people just think they're relegated to Tubi or something. Because
Mm,
I used to be in the Walmart $2 bin. Okay,
yes. I love a good bad B movie, C movie, D
right,
movie.
right,
Blockbuster. When
right.
when we go to Blockbuster, you get that new arrival and you get that
Uh-huh.
random
And you
ass.
get the random one where you're like, Queen Latifah in another
What is
movie?
it?
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, I remember I had Ride on
Exactly.
VHS and I tried to buy it on DVD and I couldn't find it. So I can't talk about nobody's bad movie.
Yeah.
Um, but also like if you haven't watched Ride, go watch Ride. So yeah, this was War of the Worlds. I have really nothing good to say about it, but it existed and I'm glad I got to watch it thanks to your recommendation, Mario. But we do have to talk about the pickup as well. Evil and Gloria is back, and this time we have, I would say, a bit of a star-studded cast here. I mean, like, not to say that Ice Cube's not a megastar, but Eddie Murphy, Pete Davidson, and Kiki Palmer. Uh
Mhm.
this is
That's true.
they have to spend a lot of money on this, don't you think? There's no way they weren't giving these people demand
These
big salaries.
these big names, and this was Eddie Murphy at his most Eddie Murphyist. One of my favorite things about this movie is you could tell, like, Eddie Murphy's getting up there, but, like, you could tell when he
Mhm.
was, like, on script and then you could tell when he would just off rip,
Mhm.
throwing insults, just, like, improv, and it was so funny to me. Like, I actually really enjoyed this. The pickup was so good to me. It felt like a return to just that funny, stupid buddy cop, like, type of movie.
Yeah, Tim Story is the director of this.
Of
Not to,
course.
yeah, I'm gonna
That's
say
why.
to harken back to Barbershop, but
Mhm.
he was the director of Barbershop as well. Taxi. Speaking of Queen Latifah, I didn't mean to throw out all these things, but I mean they make sense. It gives you very much like the same vibe as Taxi, right? Almost like a little buddy cop film,
Mhm.
where you have like a more
I
grizzled
love
veteran
Taxi.
type person with a goofy person alongside them, and
Yep.
we really did that here again with Pete Davidson and Eddie Murphy. The movie starts with Pete Davidson working security of sorts and getting robbed, or he thought he was getting robbed, right? Like that's the big twist. Like he thinks he's getting robbed by Kiki Palmer, so he pulls a gun on her because she gave him a letter, like a letter or a note, I guess I would call it,
No. Mhm.
inside of a bank. And typically, if you've watched any movies, the bank robber likes to give you a note. They can't say it's a stick
But
up.
you give it to the teller, not the security guard.
You
Why would you
don't
give
give it
this
to the security guard. Yeah, you don't.
Sorry, keep going.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Pete Davidson pulls a gun on Kiki Palmer, and then seconds later, Kiki Palmer is giving him the charm, and then she takes him back to the room and leaves him in love after
Mhm.
putting it on him. I think he woke up the
For a
next
week.
day with, yeah, I think he woke up the next day with like Thinking with My Dick by Kevin Gates playing in the background. So so you know what type of time we were
Yeah,
on
so
with
I
this
was just
movie?
about to say, you know exactly what time it is. Oh
Yeah.
god, so
Uh, what
good.
what did you think about Kiki in this role as our anti-hero, Zoe? I will call her that because although she was a
Yeah.
villain, I think she was a villain we were supposed to be rooting for.
Kiki just be doing the damn
She
thing.
just be doing,
Honestly, I
yeah,
loved it. I loved her that she was so funny. She was like she wasn't over the top. She wasn't doing like her over the top Kikiisms like, mhm, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't even
yeah,
doing all that. It was real like definitely like super soft, super secret agent like just
hmm
straight man like do what I tell y'all to do and we'll be all good. Like It was so good. It was so funny, and it was disgusting because Pete Davidson, like, they spent the whole weekend together, and he literally went to work on Monday in the same, like, drawers and clothes that he had from Friday, and that's the only thing I could think of the whole entire movie, and they kept referencing it, like, throughout.
There's a moment where she takes and he like disrobes, and I thought Pete Davidson was, pulling a Pete Davidson, because historically speaking, I mean, the people, the women talk about Pete Davidson. They say
Mhm.
there's a reason why, he be getting the women that he get.
He
And
gets all
instead,
those women.
yeah, but like, do they
Mhm.
know he's wearing them same draws? You know, it's with the sweaty ass marks.
It was It was so funny because it was like playing off of that whole, like, Pete Davidson looked like he stinks type,
Hmm.
like, joke. It was this movie was hilarious to me. It really was. You get, again, both him and Eddie Murphy doing improv the way that they do it, I thought was so interesting because we've seen how Eddie Murphy does that. We've seen him in, like, buddy movies. We've seen him do improv for kids in Shrek,
Hmm.
and we've seen him do improv for adults. But I'm like, I watch SNL, just the funny stuff that comes across the timeline. I haven't really watched anything else that Pete Davidson was in. So the two of them together was such a really fun dynamic, a very different one than if you had stuck like another black comedian in here with Eddie.
Yeah, so the plot here is basically Kiki Palmer is a criminal. She is going to try to rob an armored car or armored truck that is
Mhm,
driven by Eddie Murphy, who is a veteran in the armored car gang, and Travis, played by Pete Davidson, who is a newbie who will get fired very early on into this show, but still be stuck with Eddie Murphy throughout. Kiki will
mhm,
go and get her henchmen, and they will all try to capture them and get what sounds like $60 million, I want to say, from this truck.
yeah,
But in reality, there's another underlying twist, and it's not necessarily the $60 million out of the truck, but you get that kind of at the end and find out that Kiki is doing this for a bigger purpose. She's not necessarily doing it for the money, although she will take that. But her dad died at the hands of some security issues. I think he was working
mhm,
security, and there was like a full lockdown going on. And in the lockdown, he was trying to help people get out. But once the lockdown happens, he does suffocate because there is no air getting in, and so he dies trying to protect people when
mhm.
the company was more concerned about the money. And so Kiki's entire like villain origin story starts there, and she proceeds to try to get the money, or at least stick it to the man in a way, and make sure that they are punished for what happened to her dad. All the while, Pete Davidson and Eddie Murphy are running around doing Pete Davidson and Eddie Murphy things. Majority of this
Mhm.
movie is a car chase.
Yes, yes, yes. A good portion of it is a car chase because she doesn't want what's in the car that they're transporting. She wants the truck itself. She
Hmm.
wants the truck itself so that she can then use the truck to rob the casino that her dad died at. This is actually pretty funny because this movie took place in South Jersey in Atlantic City, which, like, again, my husband's from, so we know the area like very well. So we watched a movie from DC, and then we watched a movie set in DC, and then we watched a movie set in Atlantic City. So we knew both towns really well. It was a fake casino. They like digitized the skyline in Atlantic City, which was kind of funny to us as well.
Hmm.
But like the when she reveals that at first they're like, "What do we even have on board this truck?" They had like some monkey statue. They're like, "This isn't
Yeah.
worth $60 million." And she's like, "No, I she needed the truck. She then had to get the truck painted as the truck that makes the pickups because she basically wanted to make that casino look bad, like you said. She
Hmm.
wanted to put them out of business. She wanted to get all their money, put them out of business so that she could get revenge for her father. And it's crazy because, again, my husband, he worked security for a big casino up there too. So it's like, I asked him, he's like no, but the casinos themselves don't have anything that that needs to be airlocked. Like that technology exists, but just not in casinos. Or not in the one that he was in. So like I loved how like the whole time she's like, I don't want to really kill anybody. You know, her and Pete Davidson are doing this, like, will they want their thing the whole time? And it's kind of weird that, like, again, like you said, she's the anti-hero. So the bad guys, the whole movie are her original team. Is like
Hmm.
her original henchman team are the bad guys, and they're mad that she like basically dropped them to work with Eddie and Pete Davidson because I mean she could have again easily killed them, taken the truck and yada yada, but she actually proposed that they help her and they come away with some money and stuff like that. So it was it was so funny. I don't care. Like people, you know, you said that they said, "Oh, it's not Fast and Furious." The car chase wasn't. I don't give a shit about car chases. I
Uh,
hate action movies. So like, I didn't care. Marshawn Lynch was in here for 2 seconds, being
yeah.
funny, and then Roman Reigns is in here. It was so funny. James was like, "Roman Reigns is in this." I was like, "Oh, where was he?"
Oh,
He was in there for 0.2 seconds. Chappelle at the end. You
uh-huh.
didn't even know.
Yeah, he was the fighter, you know. So when they get to the casino, you
Yeah,
know, the casinos always
he
have
was
the prize fighters or whatever, and he was like the
the,
champ. And so Kiki Palmer just kind of passively, like kind of like, oh yeah, like don't you need to go do something? And they like run him off, you know. So he just gets a little cameo. But you're right,
Mhm.
Marshawn Lynch is murdered in this as well.
Yep.
Didn't love seeing my guy Marshawn take that L. Andrew Dice Clay is in this movie. There are a
Oh
few big names
yeah.
pop up for sure. But to the point of your car chase thing, I read on Wikipedia that during a filming of an action scene, there was an accident that happened where the armored car ran into another car, and both
Oh,
vehicles went rolling and left several of the crew members injured. And so I'm
yikes.
hoping, yeah, I'm hoping this was worth it because you're right. The critics are not loving it. Looks like the Hollywood Reporter says that the film swerves and jerks to a mildly satisfying conclusion. And that,
Like everything doesn't need to be Citizen Kane. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
yeah, that's
it
true.
could just be
Uh,
funny.
and I would say that Kane is actually a movie that mildly satisfying is not how I would describe the conclusion of Citizen Kane. I'd be like, big question mark. As somebody who watched this movie in school and did an essay on it, I will say that like Citizen Kane could have ended a little bit different, but whatever. Back in the day, that was novel. But yeah, overall, I thought it was fun. It's a little raunchy. Just a little bit, you know, like I said,
Yeah,
when you
it
got
is.
Kevin Gates on the soundtrack, you know what to expect. There's definitely a moment where Eddie Murphy is trying um, to meet up with his wife. It's their 25th wedding anniversary. He's going to give her back the ring, I guess, that he borrowed from her. I don't know why he took the ring in the first
I
place. Why? What? Does he
was
have it
it that
cleaned?
no, I missed it. I missed it too. I wasn't sure. Like something, yeah, I wasn't sure either.
Yeah, like he's gonna
Yeah,
like
no, I don't
repropose with the same ring or something like that. I don't
right.
know. Yeah, it's their
Mhm. Or
25th
was it
wedding
like pawns or
anniversary.
something? I don't know. I don't know. I
Well,
can't
no, she
remember.
was looking for it. I think he took it from her, but I don't know
Mhm,
why. But
mhm.
yeah, he trying to surprise her and get to his 25th anniversary dinner. There's a moment where you know at the end they save the day, and I think Pete Davidson says, "Okay, go over there to your wife and get your dick sucked." I was like, Pete, oh my god, this is a family movie. I don't think this is a family movie
No,
actually. No.
exactly. It felt like not PC, but in like a good, funny way. Like it wasn't PC, but it also didn't wasn't very offensive to me.
Yeah, and in the end, I think you know throughout there's definitely hints at maybe a love interest between Kiki Palmer and Pete Davidson's character long term. You know, he's very much
Mhm,
in love with her after seconds, but he wants to be a
mhm.
cop and she's a criminal, and that's not going to work out. Except for you know, I think we fast forward to 6 months in the future, and he's trying to be a cop, and she's on in Bali, chilling on the beach, saying, "Well, if you can get to me, then you know maybe we can see if we can work something out." And we have to assume that they do because we also see Eddie Murphy get a stack of money for him and his wife so they can start their bed and breakfast. That they always
Mhm.
wanted to start once he retired from being an armored car driver, and that money comes from Z and T, who would be Zoe and Travis of
Yep.
you know Kiki Palmer and Pete Davidson. So yeah, it was all fun ending, nothing
It was
crazy.
so fun. Yeah, exactly. It's like if I commit some sort of crime, that's where catch me in Bali. No
Catch me in
extradition.
Bali. Yeah,
I won't be anywhere near Russell Simmons, but I'll still be in Bali. I
yeah.
might trick him to come back. Like,
Right. What do you say to Russell Simmons to get him to go back? You know,
yeah,
like
but I'll be there.
yeah, yeah. They got young women over there. Hmm? Yeah, like what? Like look over there. It's the United States. You know, like I don't know.
Do
But
the
yeah,
old school cartoon where you put them in a shipping container and ship them
exactly. You
off.
just chloroform him and take him out. You know.
Mhm.
No, we don't condone kidnapping, even if it is criminals like Russell Simmons. So, yeah, that's it. Those are both movies. I think these are the fastest reviews we've ever done for movies, Mario, because there
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
a lot to talk about in either movie, but
That was
you
just
know,
fun.
they were fun. A
Mhm.
good time here on Recap Kickback. We need to find
Yeah.
something else to talk about, Mario. Is there anything on your radar, maybe for next week?
Next week. So next week.
You know what I would like to
None,
know, Mario? Do you have
yeah.
any information on this? What like this long ass series where this therapist falls in love with it? I mean, this woman falls in love with her therapist.
Oh
I
my
keep
god,
hearing people
no.
talk about it, but I did not watch it.
I keep hearing people talk about it too, and I didn't. I don't know what's going on with it. I've just had the cursory overview of it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I did catch up on the episodes of King's Court, the newest
Okay,
episode. So good. Still
still good,
good.
still
Still
good.
great. Still great. And
Yeah.
not saying that for next week, but no, I have no idea about the therapist drama. I
Mm.
know we did talk about the Jussie Smollett documentary.
Yeah,
No?
yeah. I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing we're definitely
That,
gonna have to address.
yeah, but that would have to be 2 weeks from now because that comes out late next week, I want to say.
Okay, well, it sounds like our listeners have a job. Let us know what you want us to talk about here on Recap Kickback, and we will try to get that coverage of that to you. I will be joining the Was It Good Though podcast this week to record their recap of The Eyes of Wakanda. They want
Nice.
me to talk about it. I watched the first episode, Mari, and it was really
Mhm.
good. But I think it's an anthology series in a way, and
Yeah.
so yeah, so you
Mhm.
don't have to watch every episode to enjoy it, and there's no like you don't have to
Mhm.
binge the whole season to enjoy one episode. So check that out if you haven't already, and catch me on the Was It Good Though podcast this week with our friends of the podcast, Jazz and Jason. But yeah, other than that, I don't know what else we should talk about here on Recap Kickback, but that's why we leave our email address for all you to approach recapkickback@gmail.com and at Recap Kickback on all social media platforms. And of course, in our comments here on YouTube to let us know what you think we should talk about. Mari, what you got going on in your neck of the woods?
Of course, over on Crime Scene Pod, me and Sarah Carradine bringing you True Crime Tuesdays, where we talk about documentaries, docuseries. This week we were joined by unofficial third chair SDB Sarah D. Bunting to talk about Mr. and Mrs. Murder, a 4-part docuseries on Hulu that just go listen to us talk about that
Okay.
because I don't know if it's something I would recommend. So make
Mm.
sure you go to Crime Scene Pod. That's crime SEEN pod.com in order to subscribe. And you can go to buymeacoffee.com/crime scene pod if you want to join our membership there. New members get shows early and ad free. Uh, Sling us a couple bucks if you can. You can also find me on Blue Sky at Mari Talks Too Much 2, like the number 2. Over there, I'm mostly talking about Big Brother 27 right now. We are in the swing of things. This season has been a mess, to say the least. But go add me on Blue Sky. If you don't want to hear about BB27, mute the hashtag, but still follow me. But yeah, yeah, get at me over there. Like you comment, I talk back. So
Yeah. Yeah.
mhm.
Catch Mario on the live feed update this week as well.
Yes, I will be on the live feed update. So just make sure you are following me so you know whenever I will be talking about Big Brother with Taryn and Rob over on RHAP.
All right. And again, thank you all for listening and tuning in. You can catch me in various locations. The Nothing But Netflix podcast. This week we were talking about The Biggest Loser. There's a documentary out that kind of dives into The Biggest
Yes.
Loser. And I'm going to have Biggest Loser super fan Brandon Donlin on as my guest on the Living
Wow.
Podcast. Yeah, so that's going to be a good time. Also on
Nice.
RJP talking about Big Brother behind the paywall. So if you want to go become a patron of RJP, go do that because the patrons are buying up tickets to the live show, and it would be amazing if we got some recap kickback listeners at the RJP live show in the fall for our Survivor watch party, and that's in October. But those tickets can be found on the Robinson website. And like I said, patrons kind of get first dibs. So if you want to go become a patron, you can listen to Slop, you can get dibs on that, and then maybe you can link up with me in the future and talk about these shows in person. That would be fun. And then you can catch me and Jenny talking about The Snake every week. It's on Fox. There are 2 more episodes left, and we've already recorded our recap for this week and our exit press with the most recent eliminated contestant. So check that out and more, and keep up with everything I'm doing by following me on all social media platforms at Recap Kickback. But that's it. That is all. Thank you all for listening. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for subscribing. Make sure you hit that like button and catch us next week. But in the meantime, for Mario and for myself, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. We'll talk to you all next time. Peace.
I've been trapped behind Suave Maria, isolated like it's North Korea. Smaller city with some bigger dreams. The wall is cracked, I'm looking in between it. The world is yours, but man, I gotta see it. They say it's hard, but man, I gotta see it. The air I'm breathing can't feel my chest. Wait on life, I wanna hold my breath. I'ma get in my goddamn self.